I was talking to one of the elders here on this journey, and he said that I think this journey started around 10 years ago. So it's been a long journey, and my young brother from UIA also confirmed that great things take time. And I also reminded him that when you rush, you crash, especially for a project of this magnitude and a project of this strategic importance, not just the insurance industry, authority, but to the country at large. I've been reliably informed that the chief guest will be arriving anytime now, but we are also cognizant of the fact that we have business people in this room. We don't want to take more of your time. We want to save some time so that you go and make money. And for that matter, we want to take you through the system that we want to launch today in terms of high-level functionality, so that you get a feel of what this system promises, the value proposition in this system, so that you get to see how it's going to make your life easier. Because the ultimate objective that we had in mind as this system was being developed was to make it easy for the importers to access insurance, but also derive value from the insurance. Meetings we've had, the man hours we've spent at the front line, but they have also committed a lot of resources in terms of man hours and technical inputs into this. And I want also to appreciate our technical partner, whom I want now to invite. That is Neon, headed and represented here by Mr. Joseph Fundiho, whom I want to invite to take us through the system. Joseph, you come and take us through. And after Joseph has taken us through, you can raise questions. When the guest of honor comes, we shall give a high-level brief. We are the users here, and I think it is important that we understand what it is and what it promises. Joseph, you are most welcome.
Thank you, Sandy. I am going to ask the team to display what we would refer to as the happy path for a typical consumer of this service. But perhaps as we go to the understanding of the happy path, just to give you a bit of a background on the design process. The thought framework was, if I am an importer, how do I easily access this platform from wherever I am in the world? Can I engage this platform? Can I actually go ahead and consume insurance from wherever I am? And that explains why it is seated or hosted at the Uganda Insurers Association website, so that it is easier for anyone to easily access it. And for purposes of taking us through the customer journey, let's display the happy path. The customer journey is in such a way that an importer logs onto the marine insurance site, which is provided there, marine.uia.co.ug. And the idea is so we are taking you through the actual journey that an importer is actually going through. The key thing that we are trying to pick up is knowing who the importer is, and the key identifier usually is the TIN number. And that explains the relationship that we have between this system and URA. So we start your identification using your TIN number. Once we have that on, we are able to call URA and pick up the details that are kept at URA for your TIN. Now, the rest of what you're seeing happening there is we are, for insurance purposes, trying to do risk assessment. We would like to know what you are importing so that we give you appropriate cover. Now, insurance coverage is typically risk management. We will provide you a pricing based on the goods that you're trying to import. So it's the nature of goods, how you're importing them, how packaged they are, and there is a whole process that we expect you to go through to get us to understand you very well so that we give you the appropriate pricing. So what you see happening there is as an importer, that's how quickly it goes. We've known what you are trying to import. We've known the value because we know that we rely on you as an importer to give us the value of the goods that you're importing. And then from that and the rest of the parameters, we are able to derive what exactly we will be providing in terms of pricing for you. Now, we will also ask you to attach some details, some documents in regards to your importation. And these documents will be, your bill of lading, your commercial invoice, and all those other documents that are related to importation. The idea is for us to have a digital note of these documents. So we have them somewhere. Even if you lost them, for us, we'll have kept them somewhere. And then once we have picked up all these documents, and we know the values that you're importing, we know which port you are getting your goods from, we know exactly where these goods are going to be delivered finally. The next part, okay, I've been guided. I think the team and I are moving a little fast. Maybe we should slow down a bit. Okay, thank you for the feedback. So let us take a step back. Let's go a little slower because the consumers are here and they would like to, fully understand and interact with this thing. So Elizabeth, you may want to go back so that let's go back to the start. So that's the uia.co.ug, which is where you go to start the journey. And you go to acquire marine cargo and goods in transit. Now, what we are trying to do is pick up information from you as an importer for purposes of us giving you the right insurance. The first identifier is your TIN because you're importing. So we'll pick up your TIN number. At that point, we would like to show you how when we have an input of your TIN, we connect with URA and are able to pick your TIN details, the details that are kept by URA for your TIN. Now the next thing we are picking up there, and then now you can move, is we want to know whether you're a single importer, you're importing in USD or UGX. We have provided for all those currencies. And then for purposes of knowing exactly what we shall insure, we will expect you to enter certain values, the values of what you're trying to insure, or import rather, which we will base on to give insurance. Now, I mentioned earlier that insurance is risk management. We are not able to know how to price you if we do not understand what you are bringing into the country. We have provided for all possible forms and categories of products that can be imported into this country. And then, so what we do is we expect you to utilize those categories of products, and from on our side at the back, once you specify the product category, once you specify how you are bringing these products into the country, whether it's by air, whether it's by sea, once you specify whether they are going to be containerized or how they are packaged, that gives us an understanding of what we are dealing with. So we are able to appropriately price the risk and give you the right insurance for the goods that you're bringing. So what we are seeing there is, after picking that information, the idea was, when you interact with us, and Elizabeth hung there for a moment, we want to be able to say, based on what we have seen, this is the level of insurance that you will have. This is how we shall price you. Now, once you have understood how much you're going to pay for insurance, then we now ask you to fill in a little bit more details so that we now go to the completion of the process. So now, Elizabeth, you can proceed. At that point, you know how much you're going to pay. So now we are basically picking extra information from you as an importer. And then most of the information is already pre-filled because you were able to fill it at the first site. Now we are into the description of the actual goods. Assuming you're bringing in rice, how is it packaged? Is it in bags? Is it in plastic containers? Because all that affects how we shall price it. At that point, we are asking you for a bit of extra detail. We are saying, give us a copy of your commercial invoice. Give us a copy of your bill of lading. Let us hold them for you digitally. Let us store this documentation for you. This is helpful at the point where, in the event that there is a claim, we have this information. We will not ask you, even if we ask you to provide it, we are basically referencing based on what we have. So you don't have a lot of discussions because we already have this information. So we are also interested in a bit more of detail there. Which vessel are you using? Which voyage number? Whereas they are optional, but for us, from an insurance point of view, it would be important for us to know these details. Now, we are also looking at where you're picking the goods from, where is the source, where are they finally headed? Because our role as insurers is to give you cover from where you're picking the goods up to the final point where you want these goods. Now, in terms of importations, there will be things like transshipments, and so we want to capture all that information so that we know exactly what we are dealing with. And at that point, you have now given us all that information. We know that you are preferring to pick these things up in the currency of your choice. And then we proceed and then go ahead and give you the final info. So we want to be able to show you that this is the information that you have given to us. Is this the right information? We want you to verify this information before you conclude with the insurance process. So we give you an opportunity to run through that. Once you're comfortable, you can proceed. Please proceed. When you proceed, the idea there is, the idea there is you have given us enough information so we know exactly what we are dealing with. The next stage there should be, we give you a unique reference number. That reference number is unique to you is unique to the information that you have put in here. No one else can utilize it. What we are dealing with there is a network issue, but that reference number is the one that you now use to make payments. These payments can now be made at various payment channels. We have kicked off with Centenary Bank and all its agents. We have Airtel on board. I am sure after today, we will see a couple of other payment service providers join in. So we'll have access to all the banks, or most of the banks, and all the telecoms. That's the plan, to make sure that we can make it as easy as possible for an importer to go to a payment point, make payment for this insurance, and it's done. We will also make provision for online payments for people who use card, MasterCard, Visa, so that it is easier, and we've made a provision for any form of payments. Now, once you make a payment, we then automatically release a policy document. That policy document goes to your email, and the process is done. We have known, you have given us all the information we needed. We have computed for you insurance. You have made the payment. We have automatically generated an insurance policy for you and sent it to your email. Now, here is the bit of the interesting part. In the process that is currently there or has been there, you come to run your clearance for goods, you're asked for evidence of insurance. And evidence of insurance is paperwork. Show me a copy of the policy certificate or a policy document. Now, whether that is genuine or not genuine, there's been no way of checking this. What we are providing here is the moment you make that payment and a policy document comes to your email, these two systems, this marine platform and the URA system, are interlinked. So at the time of clearing of goods, no one is going to ask you to come with paperwork because the systems are interlinked. That reference number, that code that we have given you, is the critical thing that you will use at the point of clearing of goods. So in the tax clearance process, you will be asked to enter your policy number, the marine cargo insurance number. It will be given to you through the email. The role of system at URA, because they are interlinked, will be to check in this system and say, I'm not going to worry that I lost my insurance documents so I cannot approach an insurer. No, the insurer has a copy of this policy and you have a copy of this policy somewhere. Even if it got lost, even if you deleted your email, we have it. So we are able to retrieve it, we are able to serve you. So for me, that would mean that you have, there is no chance in an insurer saying, I can't process this claim because you don't have a policy document. Absolutely not. But the other most important part is for us as importers to recognize this part of, we have been paying insurance to entities out there. For every import we've been making, you either pay to Japan, you pay to China, and then most of us have been struggling with losses or damages of our goods. And the question has been, where do I begin to make a claim? Yes, I value, but where do I begin? Whichever engagement process you start ends up nowhere. You don't know the insurer, you can't push this on the exporter, at least for most of the part. The normal trader goes through that challenge. What we are saying here now is that problem is taken away because you now know where you have consumed insurance. You can walk to an office, you If need be, you can engage people in the languages that you speak, and you can have a thorough discussion and make sure that your claim is properly managed. I would like to leave it at that, and then see perhaps if there is any feedback that we can take.
Thank you very much, Joseph. Convenience, that you can engage in the language you understand, which is not the case with if you have bought insurance from China. Very few of us understand Chinese. But here you can speak in Luganda, and you ask questions. Why is so much not the other being paid, or why is the claim taking longer? If that happens, it is really making it easy, convenient, but most importantly, what we are looking at from the insurance regulatory point of view is that can the sector play a more critical role in the development process by providing value arising from risk, proper risk management? Because yes, the importers have been insuring some, but how many have succeeded in getting their claims paid on time and in the right amounts? That is the issue that we addressed ourselves to. As you think through getting questions to Joseph and all of us from the technical team, I want to recognize the presence of the stakeholders with whom we've moved this long journey. And maybe for information of the other members, actually we've been receiving a lot of pressure from the potential users of this system. They have been questioning, why has it taken so long? When is it coming? When are we launching? When are we having it live? And I've also had a chance to look at our visitors' book. CEO and chair, members are congratulating you. They are calling it a milestone. I have seen several comments. There is a lot of excitement for all of us upon reaching this milestone. Allow me therefore recognize Kasita. I saw Mr. Isa. Yes. Kasita, there is also another colleague here from Kasita. Thank you very much for working with us on this journey. Maritime Organization for Eastern, Southern, and Northern Africa, the one we used to call ISCOS. We have colleagues. You can stand up if you don't mind. Thank you very much. The statistics that we quote as a basis for making a case for some other stakeholders were generated by one of ISCOS reports, ISCOS then, where they demonstrated that because many traders are not insuring locally, there is loss of revenue on the side of government, but it also loss of value on their part. So we thank you for giving, generating that report, which was a basis for discussions leading to what we are launching today. Uganda Freight Forwarders Association, representative, yeah, thank you very much for working with us this journey. Uganda Clearing Industry and Forwarding Association. I saw somebody registered in our book, maybe has stepped out. Uganda Cargo Consolidators Association, or if you're a member of the association, you may not be representing the association, but you're a member. Federation of Uganda Agents and Freight. Okay, thank you very much for coming. Uganda Shippers Council. Okay, Uganda Manufacturers Association. Private Sector Foundation Uganda. Okay, thank you very much. I'm going to check again in the register to manage the feedback.
Good morning.
Thank you, Sunday.
To everybody. I'm Kasim Wendy. I'm here as a clearing agent at the same time as insurance agent. Now, my question goes to the regulator, IRA. I'm looking at a case whereby I'm interacting with the system. We don't have a window whereby I meet a person and I interact with. Previously, we have been going to insurance agents, to insurance companies like Britam, GA, and we negotiate. Now here we are giving us a premium where we don't have any negotiation. Now I want you to compare a case whereby I will go to insurance company and gives me a lower premium compared to the system here. Thank you.
Okay, any other? Or do we take that and, but maybe let's.
Yes, thank you, Joseph. Moses Joshua Mayomba, Uganda Insurance Agents Association. One thing here, yeah, as the previous speaker talked about it, I see there's an elimination of the agents, the brokers into the system. Secondly, we have overseas insurance because people normally get CIF when they're importing, which is a bit cheaper than our local insurance companies. I don't know how that will be handled. Third is about, because I talked about the elimination of the agent or the broker into this process, because it's like an online portal, which is good, and it's a self-service portal to the importer. Now, are we seeing this thing as a statutory thing or a mandatory thing for all importers, or it's going to be selective? So that's what we have to look at. Is it mandatory that the importer is supposed to have an insurance, marine cargo insurance, before it goes ahead to be okayed by URA? Thank you.
Thank you. I am sure I'll be able to answer a certain section, and I will be helped to answer the rest. So from the point of it, have your insurance properly handled by the insurance industry, but also have the URA be able to verify or authenticate your insurance. We had to create a mechanism which, for all intents and purposes, is actually a combination of all insurers. So what you see here, the portal that has been displayed to you, is not from a single insurer. It's a combination of all the insurance players that are involved in marine insurance in this market. They came together and offered you the best of pricing that there is. As a matter of fact, if you went out to negotiate anything lower than what you find in this portal, in this market, I am not so confident you'll find anything lower, because it was a combined effort from all of them, gave you the best cover at the lowest rate. And when you make a comparison with you know, the cover that you're taking from out there, quote unquote, you still get the best value from what you have in here. You have cover from your point of importation up to your final destination, anywhere in Uganda. For most of the covers that we have been buying as importers, they usually end CIF Mombasa, and you are on your own from Mombasa to your final destination. I can be helped to add on, but I hope that takes care or paints a picture in what you're trying to achieve. The next part is this mandatory? I believe by virtue of the fact that we are here trying to launch this platform, we are speaking to the fact that this is going to be the practice going forward. And I think there is, we are relating to an act or a law that was passed by the government, and I don't think this is not only applicable in Uganda, I believe it is applicable across East Africa. And I may be wearing very big shoes here in answering this question, but to paint a picture, yes, it is going to be mandatory. Only that when we say it is mandatory, what have we done? We have gone a step back and created the utmost value that a typical importer can pick from an insurance policy.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's acknowledge the arrival of our chief guest. Our dear chief guest, we are very delighted to receive you this morning. The chief guest that has just arrived is the Honorable Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, ably represented by the Permanent Secretary and Secretary of the Treasury, who is known to most of us because he's a friend of this sector, Mr. Ramadan Govi. You are most welcome. Chief guest, we are very glad to your acceptance to come and preside over this occasion that all of us in this room have agreed that it is a historic one. And why we are calling it historic is, one, it has taken us close 10 years to come up with this product. And why the 10 years? I know you're usually a man of outputs. It's because it's a great thing, and great things usually take time. We wanted to get it right the first time, because in this space there is no allowance for experimentation. So it took time, because we had to consult and listen to the people who are going to use this system and ensure that all their concerns are taken care of. It's called Integrated Marine Insurance Platform, and why it's called integrated is because we integrated with our sister agency, that is Uganda Revenue Authority, to make sure that we are able to support the traders in a rather seamless manner. Before you arrived, members were taken through the technical presentation of the flow of the system, and from the questions that have come through so far, I can confidently confirm to you that they have understood. But they have also appreciated, at least from the feedback that has come through so far. To give you perspective, I want to request for just 5 minutes so that we summarize what we presented in a longer way. And to do that, I want to invite Joseph once again. We have only 2-3 slides to take you through the brief of the system so that you are able to get the perspective. Joseph, you can give the chief guest the key highlights before I invite the Chief Executive Officer of the Insurance Regulatory Authority of Uganda to now officially welcome him, because I may not have that capacity.
Thank you, Sunday. I'm going to request that we display the happy path. For purposes of running through what we intend to deliver, we started off, and chief guest, allow me give you a bit of background here. In the design of this platform, the idea was we would like to make it convenient for the importer to be able to access this platform wherever they are, in this country or out of this country. And we did that by having it hosted on a platform that is known in the insurance circles, the Uganda Insurers Association, which embodies all the insurance players. So for purposes of describing the journey that a typical importer takes, is you go to the Uganda Insurers Association website. We have you now pick up information that is useful for us in determining the risk that we are carrying. Now, we've made it so easy that the first identification criteria we use is your TIN number. Now, because the systems are interlinked with the importer, now the next thing that we do is quickly pick up details around the importation you're making. For example, the value of goods. We're interested in knowing where you're picking these goods from, where they are finally headed. We're interested in knowing how you will package these goods. We are interested in knowing the mode of transport of these goods. And all we are trying to do here is to pick up information that we can use for our risk grading. Now, that is a process that will take you not more than 5 minutes. If you are a slow user, for a repeat user, that should be done within 2 or 3 minutes. And the idea is, in those 3 minutes, we are able to give you a quotation from insurance, well knowing that we have captured the appropriate information that we need to give you cover. Now, we will also keep a digital copy of the documents that you used for importation, and the idea is to store for you that information somewhere so that in the event that you've lost this information, we can still serve you. So once we have picked up that information, you have accepted, quote unquote, what we are proposing as the insurance premium. We are giving you payment options, and these payment options are varied. We will have local banks. We are also going to have online and card payments for this purpose. And what we are trying to achieve here is the moment you make a payment, we are auto-generating an insurance policy and a policy schedule to your email. So this is, quote unquote, among the first platforms where insurance is done end-to-end digitally, and you can complete an insurance consumption in under 5 minutes. And on that information that we have, we are keeping it so that, there is no, in the event of a claim, then you are comfortable. You know that you actually consumed insurance here, and that information is available with us. Now, once you've received all the information, you have received your policy document, we communicate to URA. At the point of clearing of your goods, when your agent engages with the customs clearance process, they are quoting that insurance policy number. We are moving away from papers. In the current process, if you are clearing your goods, you're asked for evidence of insurance. And you have to bring pieces of paper to prove that you're insured. Whether they are genuine or not, that's a different story. So we are creating a one center for genuineness. We are also taking away by using a certain reference. So once you engage the customs process, URA will call this system and confirm the validity of this insurance, and then you can continue to clear your goods and bring them to completion. So what we have mentioned as an advantage to the importers is one, the efficiency that we are bringing, but most importantly, the fact that we have been struggling from an importation point of view with insurance that we consume out of this country. If I lose my goods on the high seas, I literally struggle to engage an insurer who I have never met, I do not know. The policy documents are in Chinese or Japanese. I have nowhere to start from as an importer. But in this case, you know where to go you will speak to the people in the languages that we speak in this country, and you will be served. The fact that we are keeping your documentation digitally, in the event that there was anything, we should be able to serve you still. If you lost the documents, you do not have to worry. And I think that's the value proposition we are giving to the importers here. Of course, in addition to the fact that the policy that we have provided here is an all risks policy, so there won't be the exclusions that you find typical insurers giving out there. So we have given them value for money in this policy document that the insurance industry has created for this purpose. Sunday, I would like to leave it at that.
So, Chief Guest, that is the summary of the system. Some value proposition, just for purposes of emphasis. One is that we are creating convenience for the trader. Two, we are also creating real value, because from the challenges that have been enumerated by the various traders, one of them has been the difficulty in making claims. You've bought insurance in China, it is in Chinese, you even don't know what exactly you bought, and when it comes to claiming, you don't know what to claim, let alone the language in which to negotiate if you are able to reach that level. So we are trying to circumvent a number of those challenges. Among others, we work together with URA, and I've been working very closely with Commissioner Assad Chisitu Chigozi, and it will be in order for you to get a reaffirmation from URA that indeed we've worked together and we have duly integrated with the trader in mind, trying to avoid as much as possible any possible inconvenience. Mr. Chisitu, come and give assurance to our chief guest. Thank you.
Thank you, Sunday. Our chief guest, the PSST, the Acting Commissioner General, CEO, Insurance Regulatory Authority, CEO, Uganda Insurers Association, the board of IRA, senior management of URA and IRA, members of the private sector, the Fourth Estate, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Indeed, this is a milestone, time we have taken and the discussions we have gone through to come this far. It is something that was envisaged in 2017 when it was brought to us as URA and specifically customs and IT. However, a lot of discussion has been going on, and I'm happy this morning to see that we have come to launch a facility that not only facilitates trade, but also enhances our cardinal role as revenue collector. Remove any delays in terms of facilitating trade, but also, given that URA is promoting and continues to innovate solutions that make the convenient. On the part of URA and customs in particular, we have been having a challenge of getting documents to ascertain the insurance cover of the goods that we are clearing. The mode of clearance is CIF, cost insurance, and freight. Whereas it was easy for the other areas of cost because of the commercial transaction documents, freight, which are easily accessible, insurance has been a challenge to get the exact amount. And because of that, a lot of the insurance being used in tax calculation has been on a percentage term. If you don't have insurance, you can't show evidence that you bought the insurance to collect revenue on a fair term, on fair terms for the client, but also for the government, because taxation calls for fairness. The having of local companies will ease our clients' challenges which they have been facing in the claims, and also it will ease any extra information that we need. We know whom to contact. The regulator is here, the insurance association is here, so it will be easy for us to work together. What we expect from the clients, the importers, is to embrace this facility because it has come to streamline. But also on our side, as the Uganda Revenue Authority, we shall have another stream of revenue through the stamp duty, which is paid against these premiums now that they will be domiciled in Uganda. We are here as Customs and URA to handhold our clients to make sure that they enroll on this. And in this, we shall give a period, a grace period for transition before it goes mandatory, as my Commissioner General will highlight on the exact time frame that will be given. Once again, I want to thank the Insurance Regulatory Authority, our clients, URA, especially the team from IT, the team from Customs Field Services, who have been closely working together to bring this on board. And we shall continue to move together, and many more innovations that will make doing business in Uganda easy are always welcome, and we shall not tire to look out for them. Developing Uganda together for God and my country.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Kisitu, for those very considered words. It's the more you work with URA, the more the phrase developing Uganda together gets home. Indeed, developing Uganda together. A month ago or so, we had a meeting, chief guest with the Commissioner General, attended by the Chief Executive and other senior members. And he really expressed a lot of, passion in technology, in as far as it enables business. So, indeed, together we can develop Uganda. And on that note, I want to request the Commissioner General, the Acting Commissioner General, Mr. Mutebi Robert, to come and give his speech and maybe make an endorsement to what Commissioner Kisitu already mentioned. I know him substantively as Commissioner IT. So in your capacity as Commissioner IT, we also want to thank you so much for all the support.
Thank you very much. Just again, to recognize who has joined us today. We're very glad that the Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development is being ably represented by our boss, who we cherish a lot, the PSST. Always happy to have you, and have your wisdom on the many things we do here. The board and management of the Insurance Regulatory Authority. Lately we've become friends, a lot of friends, working together. We are happy to have you again. Our friends from the executive members and the executive, the executive and the members of Uganda Insurance Association. As we've been working, we've been thinking deeply about you and your members. And today is a happy day because of the unveiling of what we've been working on. We have members here of Insurance Brokers Association, heads of representatives of trade associations. I think I saw our leader, yes, Haji Sachito, over there. He's a common friend on many things that we do here. And my fellow staff members, and especially our senior leaders, like Haji Hassad, who has just been here. We are happy today, and we welcome you to the URA again to speak about things that matter to all of us. I think you're all aware we have a very ambitious vision as URA to be a transformational revenue service with the aim of Uganda's economic independence. This has been our clarion call every day. We pursue it with a lot of passion. And we have a mission to mobilize revenue for a purpose of national development in a very transparent and efficient manner. And one of the ways we've decided to do that is simply simplify our customer journeys and value streams. And so we're very passionate about how do we make it easy? How do we make it easier and make this tax experience easier for everybody and going through all our processes? So we have a digitalization strategy, and this work speaks very eloquently about it. And there are about 4 pillars that I just want to highlight for us, or strategic objectives in there. One is provide clarity and certainty for our taxpayers and our traders and our stakeholders on their obligation. Now, I think Haji mentioned earlier here that sometimes people would come and we have to estimate because there's lack of clarity. And one of the things we aimed for in this work is provide that clarity for everybody, taxpayers, traders, stakeholders, on this insurance obligation. And it's coming out very easily. The other objective we have as we digitalize is to make it easy for our taxpayers, our traders, and our stakeholders to comply with their obligations. So when Joseph was walking us through and the conversations we had, we were saying, look, not everyone has a bank account. Not everyone likes complexity. Not everyone wants to run around. They should be able to do this from their boardroom in the night, in the moment that they are doing this transaction. And at the decision point, we should give them tools to be able to make payments. So we're happy to have telcos in terms of mobile money and all the bank channels as avenues to be able to pay for insurance on our local marine cargo. The third one is to modernize our systems and provide digital, streamlined online services to shorten our customer journeys. One of the things you learn when you read digitalization journey of URA and compare it, of the country, and then compare it with our demographics. If you, for example, look at the statistics that were released by UBOS, is that we have a lot of young people, like really very young people. Over 70% of the country is young people. These people have very many phones Because when you go to UCC and look at the statistics, it's almost every Ugandan has a phone. But when you look, they have 2, 3 phones, tablets, and all that. And thirdly, they were born in the digital age. They spend a lot of time online. So as a URA, as a government, parastatals and bodies that are responsible for different services, we found it challenging enough for us to put all our services online. Because the people we are targeting, their background and their tool of trade is largely a mobile phone. So it's also a very good thing to see that now insurance for marine cargo has also come into the mobile phone because of this. The last strategic objective we have as the URA, as we digitalize, is to create value. And to create value. And I really want to appreciate our friends from IRA. We've worked so well together in making sure that we create value. Chief Guest, I think one of the most efficient processes in the URA is third-party insurance. We collect 100% of that stamp duty because of the work that we do together with this team. And just to highlight what value has been created, I think it has been expounded on. For the URA, because this is a new stream of revenue into the country, it also translates into a stream of stamp duty for the URA. So we're seeing growth in our revenue collections because of this. For the traders, we're seeing growth right now into wider coverage of insurance options. Because initially they were only working with foreign companies, but now because we are local, there's more in the portfolio that they can pick from. And I had a friend there saying, but I need to be at the till so that I can even negotiate more, which wasn't even possible before. So there's a lot more value even for the traders. And this solution is becoming easy to access in terms of getting the claims, because the companies are here with us, speaking our language. And if they are difficult, we can even go to the homes of the leaders. So in terms of access, it's become a bigger value proposition for all of us. Goods disappear, and we do a lot of things here in the URA. We have cargo tracking, we do a lot of things, but still goods disappear. And we are thankful to the government that we no longer have highway robbers that used to take all these things, but goods disappear anyway. And recently we had this oil tanker that just exploded and killed people. And I had a few comments on the media where people were saying, all right, those people died, but they died because they were trying to rip off the trader in the moment of an accident. And that trader lost value. But perhaps he would have more peace if he had this level of insurance with us. So we are de-risking cargo from wherever you want to wherever you want it to be delivered. And lastly, in terms of the value, we're building local capacity for insurance companies. This country that we all love can only grow when every industry is growing. And for URA, we are happier when we see a lot more of value and trade going on with this country, because our other task that our leaders have given us is to make sure we facilitate trade. And so this is, again, a lot of value addition to us. So it's a happy day for us. It's a solution we want. It is something we'll support. It speaks into our digitalization journey. It is value for every one of us who are stakeholders. And we are grateful that the team that architected this and worked very hard on it has delivered on it. We thank you very much for attending, and like Haji emphasized for us, let's keep building Uganda together for God and my country.
Another round of applause to Commissioner General. Thank you very much, sir, for endorsing technology. Okay. I think the chief guest now is more comfortable that what we are talking about is a holistic solution that has been looked at 360 degree from all angles and by all stakeholders. There is a gentleman in the house who I think calls on a monthly, if not weekly, to see progress. And he has made a lot of input into this. It would be, I think it's in order to recognize him. And I'm sure he's one of the happiest people in this room. That is none other than Alhaji Jaffa Abdallah. Thank you very much. He's very passionate and he has been following up. He's saying, when is the child getting born? I think the child is getting born today. Chief guest, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, allow me invite the Chief Executive Officer of the Insurance Regulatory Authority of Uganda, Alhaji Kadunabi Ibrahim Lubega, to handle the rest. Because where we are going, it's getting much heavier for me to carry. Alhaji, you are most welcome.
Our guest of honor, Honorable Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, here represented by the Permanent Secretary and Secretary to the Treasury, Mr. Ramadan Govi. Can we first and foremost give a round of applause for the PS being here in person. PSST. Indeed, we invited the Honorable Minister, but when the PSST is here, who leads the technical things and decides this and the other, it gives me more pleasure as a person, but at the same time, as a person who is my muzukuru, I want to thank you very much for sparing time to be with us. Thank you very much, Permanent Secretary, Secretary to the Treasury. On behalf of the Insurance Regulatory Authority of Uganda, allow me stand on the protocol as highlighted by the Director of Ceremonies. May I welcome each one of you to the launch of the online platform for local marine cargo and goods in transit insurance. And as already highlighted, this initiative marks a significant milestone in our nation's journey towards enhancing trade facilitation and bolstering the insurance sector. Ladies and gentlemen, as you all know, the insurance industry has moved a long journey. And this journey could never be possible if we were not moving with stakeholders who are supportive. We know that insurance works on the principles of risk management, trust, and the long-term relationship. While these fundamentals remain crucial, many wonder about the online payment platform. And as already stated by the Acting Commissioner General, we must go digital. We must continue to simplify the way we do business in order to satisfy the users. You may recall that in the background to the budget of the fiscal year 2017-2018, the Honorable Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development made a pronouncement on the government's intended move to support locally licensed insurance companies in managing all domestic insurance needs, including the issue of insurance policies for goods imported from other countries. The Honorable Minister, after that, directed the Insurance Regulatory Authority of Uganda, working with the Uganda Revenue Authority, to implement his directive. This culminated into various stakeholder engagements, including members from the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, members from Uganda Insurers Association, the Intergovernmental Standing Committee on Shipping, Private Sector Foundation, Uganda Manufacturers Association, Kampala City Traders Association, Uganda Shippers Council, Uganda Clearing Industry and Forwarding Association, Uganda Cargo Consolidators Association, the agents and freight forwarders, the Federation of Uganda Customs Agents and Freight Forwarders, Uganda Freight Forwarders Association, and many other stakeholders. Indeed, our guest of honor, as a result of that, the various engagements we had, that's why we are here, with a product which is the best in the ESC region, and indeed in the entire COMESA region. I have had a discussion with a team, the East Coast now changed into maritime of Eastern, Southern, and Northern. I have had a team which is here and a team which is in Mombasa, and they have all confirmed that even those countries which tried to implement the compulsory marine, like Tanzania and Kenya, they never got it right as we have done, working with the Uganda Revenue Authority, and we are indeed grateful for this partnership, Uganda Revenue Authority. The background has been given of why it is important and beneficial to the importer to have a localized marine insurance. And indeed, suffice to note that the implementation of localized marine insurance empowers the local insurance players, but at the same time, it empowers the importer. Historically, many importers were relying on foreign insurers for marine cargo, for those who managed to get the marine. And this led to substantial capital outflows and challenges in claim processing. At the initial stages, we interacted with members of CASITA who had their claims. Some of them were supposed to be claimed from China and many other countries, but they had very many challenges to the time when they had to give up. This is now history. This move is supported by the Insurance Act, specifically Section 8, subsection 3 of the Insurance Act 2017, which mandates procuring marine policies from locally licensed insurers. This will enable the importers to buy insurance in local currency and a highly subsidized premium rates. My brother who was talking of lower rate, there could never be any lower rate than the rate we have approved for this arrangement. The second and equally important point is the improved claims processing. One critical advantage of this initiative is facilitating prompt and efficient claims processing. Importers will have a direct access to the local insurers, eliminating the complexities which were there in dealing with foreign entities. This therefore ensures that business can recover swiftly and continue their operations with minimal disruptions. The third benefit for the importer is the economic benefit. The localized marine cargo insurance is poised to yield significant economic benefits. By retaining insurance premiums within our borders, we will enhance the liquidity of our financial markets and indeed contribute to the national revenue. Moreover, local insurers are better positioned to understand and cater for the unique needs of Ugandan businesses, ensuring that the cover which is offered is tailored and efficient in all ways. Every importer or clearing agent is availed an opportunity to know the real charges for insurance, and confirmation of this is done by issuance of an insurance policy, which directly goes to the email provided. There is also noted collaboration and integration, and the achievement results from the many collaborations from the various stakeholders is indeed very important. The successful implementation of the Uganda on the Uganda electronic single window with a marine insurance platform removes the complexities which earlier were there as the importers were doing the process of clearing their goods. But fundamentally, when government was estimating a 1% and add it on the value and charge a tax, we ran studies, various studies, and we realized that the money which is going to be paid by the importer is going to be much lower than what government was doing before the idea of loading. But the second critical and important issue is now the goods are going to be insured. The other time you are paying higher without insurance. This time you are paying lower, but your goods are insured. Ladies and gentlemen, we must all celebrate this milestone. May I urge the importers and all other stakeholders to embrace this platform wholeheartedly. Let us leverage this tool to enhance efficiency, reduce costs, and contribute to the growth of our local industries. Together, we can build a resilient and self-sustaining economy that benefits all Ugandans. I commend all those people who spent sleepless nights to ensure that this becomes to fruition. The team from my side was led by Mr. Sandy Protazio, and the other team, Chisira, Kadu, Barbara, Jonan, Joseph, and team, and the team from URA. You all did us proud when you bring this to fruition. May I end with a quotation from Jun An Lee, who was the CEO of Barclay Insurance Asia. He said, a marine insurance platform bridges the gap between risk and resilience, enabling seamless protection for goods in transit and empowering business to navigate global trade confidently and easily. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to end my remarks by inviting the Chairman Board of IRA to invite for us the chief guest, the guest of honor, to talk to us. Chairman Board, please, you can take the floor.
Guest of honor, Honorable Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, ably represented by the PSST, invited guests, board members of IRA present here. I think on behalf of the Insurance Regulatory Authority, we are really very proud to have this launch taking place today. Can I ask my fellow board members to stand up for recognition? I will give a reason why. Those are, thank you. This program started way back, and I must thank management that after such a long period, we are able to launch it, because it has been on our body pack for all this time. And every time we raised an issue, we say, work in progress, work in progress. At least I'm very excited that at long last, we are here to launch this very wonderful project, which I believe is going to transform both trade, the insurance, and of course the revenue side, which our ministry is very much interested in. Secondly, with the launch of this portal, it marks that innovation is what will drive business. And I'm happy that we are all embracing innovation in the various operations of the insurance industry, and more so in terms of harnessing this collaboration, because it removes the suspicion between institutions, but above all, it builds trust. As we launch this, the only appeal I make is that launching is one, using is the other. Can we all stakeholders be able to build this trust that this system we are launching is here to facilitate our businesses and not kill our businesses? At the end of the day, everybody is going to benefit, and of course the economy will benefit, and everybody will be able to be successful in businesses, especially if you are involved in the import and export business. Therefore, as I conclude, can we follow up this launch with more massive awareness? You know, this system is can collapse if we don't popularize it. Can we use social media to explain some of these processes so that people can go and understand and learn how to use it in the most efficient way? So with those few remarks, I want to execute the duty assigned to me, and namely to invite the guest of honor to make his remarks and officially launch the platform for use.
Thank you very much, the chairman of the board and all the board members of the Insurance Regulatory Authority, the CEO, my Jaja, good to see you, the acting Commissioner General of URA. I've seen other very good friends in the area of insurance, but also in business. Haji Sechito, that one is a noisemaker for all of the traders, and you can see the results of his positive noise. Is the reason perhaps why we are getting all these fruits. And all of you, the business people, I understand there are different associations here, as Haji Kadunabi has mentioned them. I recognize all of you in your capacities, ladies and gentlemen. As they told you, I'm here to represent my minister, who was supposed to come, but because of other state duties, he was unable. So I'm going to read his speech as it is. These are words of the minister, not mine. It gives me great pleasure and honor to stand before you on this occasion to celebrate yet another very important milestone when we announce a great innovation, the integrated platform for local marine cargo and goods in transit insurance. Allow me first commend the Insurance Regulatory Authority of Uganda and Uganda Revenue Authority for the job well done in delivering this platform. May you please join me to congratulate them and indeed the entire insurance fraternity upon attaining this important milestone. Ladies and gentlemen, you may wish to recall that on the 8th June 2017, in the background to the budget for the fiscal year 17-18, the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development made a pronouncement that government would empower locally licensed insurance companies to issue all policies relating to domestic marine cargo insurance. I also directed the Insurance Regulatory Authority of Uganda to administratively enforce and implement the provisions in the Insurance Act to ensure that only locally licensed insurance companies issue insurance policies for goods imported from other countries, except personal effects and donations. This pronouncement came at the back of government's knowledge of the general outcry and discontent from the importers and the business community who insured with the foreign insurers. We were made aware of a number of challenges. 1, delays in claim settlement. 2, heavy cost involved in pursuing the claim. 3, uncertainty as to whether the foreign seller had actually insured the goods. 4, uncertainty as to the type of coverage obtained. 5, language barriers. And 6, several instances of issuance of fake marine cargo insurance certificates. In addition to these challenges, we are also aware of capital flight and revenue loss that government was facing through insurance of imports by foreign insurers. We have noted from the Intergovernmental Standing Committee on Shipping, that is ISCOS, the report of 2015, that between 2009 and 2013, government of Uganda lost revenue totaling 60.3 billion shillings as VAT and 35 billion shillings as stamp duty through insurance of imports by foreign insurers. And remember, this was 2013, many years ago. The economy has grown much bigger now. This is in addition to the massive insurance premium flight. With an increase in imports over the years, the country has certainly lost more revenue. To ensure that interests of all stakeholders were taken care of, in a bid to find a seamless solution, several engagements with the key stakeholders in this space have been undertaken with officials from the Insurance Regulatory Authority of Uganda, Uganda Revenue Authority, CASITA, Uganda Shippers Council, Private Sector Foundation Uganda, Uganda Insurers Association, ISCOS, Uganda Clearing Industry and Forwarding Association, among others, to ensure that we are speaking the same language on this. A number of issues, most of them operational in nature, were raised, and I've been advised that these issues have been resolved, and we are ready to go live. Ladies and gentlemen, to facilitate this operation, an online platform for local marine insurance that is synchronized with URA systems, that is the ASCODA, the e-tax system, as well as the single window, has been developed and successfully integrated. The Insurance Regulatory Authority has also assured me that the insurers have developed their capacity to handle the risks through an arrangement